Mark, this is the type of car Luke and I grew up with in the 90s. We knew guys who had these. This is a HR31 Skyline, correct?
Yep, GTS-X.
And they came with an RB20.
Yeah, single turbo.
So is that how you bought it?
Originally I bought it off a guy in South Australia, had a RB25 in it at the time. And then I took the car into race pace to see what I could do with it, and then they put the idea in my head of putting in the RB26, and that's where we went.
Now you've got this beautiful engine in here. Obviously if the RB25 was in, this is a pretty easy switch over, was it?
Yeah, they actually enjoyed doing the switch on this because this car doesn't have all the four-wheel drive on the front end, so it was, they had a lot more space to work on the car. Everything, it's amazing the parts that you could just pick out of a Nissan catalogue and put straight on this. So RB26 motor up the front from an R32, R33 RB25 gearbox, and I've done the 5-stud conversion on all the wheels. Yep. So front end's running S14 hubs and knuckles, R33 GTS turbo brakes, and I've got the S13 coilovers front and rear. What wheels are these? These are the Workmeister knockoffs. Oh, knockoffs, yeah. Because I can't afford real ones, I've got a family, so. Now it's a very cool car, two-door. They're such a stretched coupe, aren't they? They're very... When I was 19 years old, I always liked the HR31, and I saw one behind me and the auto spoiler dropped out and I loved it. After that I had to have one. Is the engine pretty much stock RB26, so it's still running the twin turbos? It's a forged bottom end from Race Pace. Yep. So Race Pace built the motor, they did the full conversion for me. The guys from Shockworks actually did the 5-stud conversion. Yep. I gave them all the parts and they made it work, and everything's stayed together so far, but we'll see what happens on the dyno. Have you ever had it on a dyno? It's originally been tuned in at 309 rear wheel kilowatt. Oh yeah. But that was 8 years ago. That's a long time ago. Yeah. So it's come here today for a health check, I guess. This is the third time it's been out in 2 years. Wow. Given what Melbourne's gone through. But yeah, it's a very unique car. I really like this. What colour is it? It's like this is actually a Hilux metallic black. It almost has a blue in it, almost. Yeah, I think they've added a blue tint and it's got pearl lacquer. So it looks great when it's polished and in the sun. So are these the factory stock turbos? I'm guessing they are. Or have they been high flowed, or do you know anything about that? No, I've swapped them out for Garrett-9s. Okay, yep. The conversion was done in 2014, so I think that's right. These are R32 GTR or Z32 airflow meters. We couldn't fit the original airbox in, so I've just got the HKS filters. And how's it been tuned? It's running a Pexi Power FC computer. This is really a throwback car, this one, when you start mentioning parts like that. You just don't hear about that stuff that There's a lot of bits and pieces into it, but it's all come together and it's worked and it's never really let me down. So have you done many Ks in it, apart from the last 2 years? Did you used to drive it more, or? Every now and then, I take it out for a decent drive to a car. I've never tracked it. I don't know if I ever will. No, I probably wouldn't either. I'm worried about hitting the walls, so. You must get a few people coming up asking questions about it, would they? Yeah, just got to make sure the wife's not standing there in case they ask how much it costs. So. This would have gone up a lot. I told her 6,500. Yeah, well, a lot of people think you're spoilt and you've blown all your money on it, but at the time they weren't worth much, not what they are now. They're not R32 GTR money, but... The Purity fans would agree that this is how it should be done. There's no dirty barra in this thing or something. Well, that's it. Yeah, when I originally did the motor, I was thinking of putting in an LS, and I got talked out of it. They said you'll get beaten up if you go to a car club meeting with that. This is cool. Is this a bit of a dose weapon, or is it? It's running R33 GTR blow-off valves, and they're still plumbed back in just to keep everything nice and neat. R32 GTR intercooler on the front. So yeah, the whole idea when I did this build was so you'd lift the bonnet and it just looks stock. It does. It looks like a factory engine. Engine built to handle horsepower. Yeah, that's cool. And I was going to say I could not remember the last time. I was going to say the last time I saw one of these on the road would have been the last time I saw you years ago. That's probably, I don't reckon I've seen one since. No, you don't see many on the road at all. Like, I think I've only seen one other guy drive past. We just gave each other a thumbs up and that's it. That's another thing that got changed. It's an R33 steering rack in it as well, because you get one less rotation with it. Did they do that when they did the engine? Yeah. Yeah, so they did a bunch of things. Yeah, so So it's a R33 K-frame as well to fit the motor in, just with the engine mounts and everything.
So 285 kilowatts, that's pretty good after 8 years of,
Yeah.
you haven't had a health check in 8 years.
No, well, the guys here were saying their power's been around 20 kilowatt down on their normal tune, and that probably says the same for mine, originally tuned for 309 kilowatts. So yeah, I'm happy with that. It hasn't dropped off much at all.
By far, I think it's the quietest car we've had here all day.
Oh, jeez.
Now that's a good thing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of really noisy street cars. This is really sweet sounding,
Yeah.
and not overly loud at all.
No, it's drones a little on the inside, but I always drive with the windows down. Don't have the stereo on in this thing. It's good fun just listening to the car go.
I did notice with the door open, I do love the pillarless windows. Like,
Yeah.
you got no door frames. It's just something you notice on cars.
I just reckon, like, they're a big boxy shape,
Yeah.
but for their time, I think they're a sexy car.
I love the fact you've kept a Nissan engine in it, and this is an excellent example of a modified street car done correctly and fully engineered, fully legal this car is.
Yeah, yep. So made sure at the time to make sure everything was engineered on the car. So if there was any issue, I could get it sorted. You see a lot of guys just do a backyard job on their cars, and it bites them when they want to put it back on the road. So it's yeah, good to know when you're driving around that it's legal, it's safe.
You definitely now won't be doing an LS swap.
No, this is unique. I enjoy this. Like, there's plenty of guys that can chuck a junkyard LS in a car, but
Well done,
bit to
mate.
get
It's
one
a
of those
really
in.
nice build and something very unique. As we said earlier, I've not seen these. I never see these cars on the road.
no, yeah, it's a lovely car. I enjoy it.
This year marks the 25th year that we have been behind the cameras, and to celebrate we have a fresh new merch design available for pre-order. Grab your track gear from shop.fullboost.com.au.